I'll now call this chamber to order. Everyone please rise if you can. Recite the Pledge of Allegiance to our nation and remain standing for a moment of personal reflection. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Township Clerk, please call roll and read our statement of adequate notice.
Councilmember Hall.
Here.
Councilman Wendell.
Here.
Councilwoman Winston. Here. Councilwoman Zimbicki.
Here.
And Council President McAvoy.
Here.
Also present, Mayor Brad Cohen.
Here.
Administrator Joseph Criscuolo.
Here.
And Township Attorney Anthony Iacoca.
Here.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as required under Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, by specifying the time, date, location, and to the extent known, the agenda, by posting a copy on the bulletin board located in the main lobby of the East Brunswick Municipal Building, providing a copy to the Home News Tribune and the Asbury Park Press newspapers, posting a copy on the Township's website, and by filing a copy in the office of the Township Clerk, which will be entered into the minutes.
Thank you. Council, you have before you Resolution 24-341, adopting our meeting minutes from our November 14th, 2024 meeting. May I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Is there a need for clarification or correction? Township Clerk, please call roll.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zimbicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Council, we have three ordinances for a second reading and a public hearing. Township Clerk, will you please read ordinance 24-32?
A bond ordinance providing a supplemental appropriation of $800,000 for various water utility improvements in and by the Township of East Brunswick, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, and authorizing the issuance of $800,000 in bonds or notes of the Township to finance the cost thereof.
May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
I'll now open this up to the public. I see no one from the public. I'll close the public portion.
Council President?
Yes, please.
Just for clarification.
Yep.
As, Mr. Criscuolo stated at the last meeting, this is not... Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Just for a point of clarification, as Mr. Criscuolo stated, this is not affecting property taxes. This comes, this fee, these bonds come and will be repaid by the water utility.
Right, the users of the utility plus the towns that purchase water through our system, they finance this, yes.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zimbicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes. Township Clerk, will you please read ordinance 24-33?
An ordinance approving the traffic signal improvements for Hardenberg Lane and Riva Avenue in the Township of East Brunswick, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey.
May I have a motion to approve?
Motion to adopt.
And a second?
Second.
I'll now open this up to the public for the public to comment on this ordinance only. Seeing none, I'll close the public portion. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zimbicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes. And Township Clerk, will you please read ordinance 24-33?
An ordinance of the Township of East Brunswick, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 209, Vehicles and Traffic of the Township Code to establish a traffic control signal at the intersection of Hardenberg Lane and Fresh Ponds Road.
And may I have a motion
Just
to
for
approve?
clarity, this is
Yes,
24-33.
Councilman Wendell.
This is 24-34, not 33. You stated 33 previously, Council President.
24,
34.
34?
Yeah.
I got it. My error.
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Second.
We'll open this up to the public. Anyone from the public wishing to comment on this ordinance only? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion. And we'll move on to our reports section. Mayor Cohn.
Thank you, Council President. The only thing I wanted to report on, there's this ongoing emails, messages, letters, calls to the township regarding the policy that we've put in place this year for removal and picking up of loose leaves. It's kind of taken over from the conversation a couple of months ago about garbage. The leaf policy was made for very specific reasons. One, it is extraordinarily dangerous to leave leaves in the streets because it is a hazard to the motoring public. It's slippery when it's wet, it's slippery when it's icy. It's, in some instances, poses difficulty for kids to wait for buses because they can't wait at their regular stops because people have piled leaves in the streets or on sidewalks. So in addition, the stormwater regulations in the state of New Jersey have gotten much stricter. And so there's a major effort on our part to make sure that we do not clog storm drains throughout the township. When we do that and it rains, as we've had in the past couple of years, these deluges of rain, it causes flooding. This past year, we were sued by somebody whose foundation caved in because of flooding. And while the town settled, because it would have cost us more money to pursue the lawsuit than to settle it, and while we win most of these cases, it still costs us money, which ultimately translates into tax dollars. Just take the leaves off the street, put them on the side on your property or on the sidewalk. The township has not issued any summonses to anybody. We recognize that the topography throughout the town varies widely. There's clearly going to be areas in the town where if leaves pile in the street, there's virtually no way that cars can get around. We're going to be far more likely to enforce the leaf policy in that area than if you live on a wide street where putting them in the street wouldn't affect traffic and where it isn't in the way of a storm drain. So we are using our judgment where we feel that the policy needs to be enforced because of the hazard that it creates in areas where we don't really need to be as strict. But the fact remains that the township has these obligations to, first and foremost, to public safety. Secondly, to the stormwater issues, which ultimately at the end is a public safety issue. And the schedule is going to be one that you can go onto the website and see where they are at the present time and where they're going to be at the next pickup. To put out a schedule weeks and months in advance when we have absolutely no idea the rate at which leaves are going to fall, when they're going to fall, and then, which we did in the past, which we were never able to commit to a schedule like that, is just ludicrous. And everybody got upset because we didn't follow a schedule, which was impossible and kind of stupid to put out to begin with. So we're doing a plan where you could know where they are at any moment in time and where they will go next. If your house has not been picked up, don't bust a gut. They're going to come back multiple times. They're going to do a couple of passes. The first one is going to take longer because there's more leaves. But as the leaves get picked up, the second and the third and the fourth pass through your area will go quicker because most of the leaves will have been picked up already. And if you don't like any of those rules, guess what? You can go to the recycling center, get bags, and bag them. And we'll be more than happy to pick them up. And by the way, that'll probably go quicker. So if everybody were able to bag the leaves, we would be able to pick leaves up through the township even faster. So for those people that don't want to do that and only want to leave the leaves like they've done before, the township will use its discretion at where and when it wants to enforce its policy. But the policy is going to be for us to keep them off the roads for the reasons I gave. I don't know why this is so complicated. I don't know why it has to be the subject of 135 posts on Facebook. It's not that complicated. So I'm just asking people to follow the rules. They're not that difficult, and we'll get all the leaves picked up. I promise you by the time that the season of leaf falling is over, that the vast majority of leaves will have been removed. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Mayor. Our business administrator, Mr. Criscuolo?
And our two fire officials are with us tonight. They also pose a fire hazard. You know, you got leaves in the roadway, you have a car pull up with a hot muffler on it. It does get extremely hot. It parks on top of it. The next thing you know, you got a leaf fire underneath your car. So as much as people don't realize it is a safety hazard, and I think we did have one or two calls regarding engines going out to actually put out leaves. The car was able to get out of there without damage, but I believe there was one or two of them. And I welcome our fire officials that are here this evening on another matter if they want to comment on that. Just so you don't have to go back to me later on, I'd like to wish everybody a happy, healthy Thanksgiving. And I would be remiss if I didn't wish the mayor a happy birthday. Yesterday was his birthday. So happy birthday, Mayor Cohen, and many more.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That's all I have.
Our township attorney, Mr. Iacocca.
So I have two items. First, I'd like to remove ordinance number 24-42 with regard to special events.
Okay.
And with regard to ordinance number 24-43, this is a proposed ordinance authorizing a financial agreement with Brightview. I just wanted to clarify for the mayor and the council. In the packet, there's a resolution authorizing a proposed agreement. The proposed agreement is marked MJB Final for Execution 11-19-24. That is the current agreement for execution. There is the initial agreement that was included in the application by the applicant. That agreement was a sample agreement. It's dated June of this year. That is not the correct agreement. So the correct agreement is dated November 19th, 2024, and it's attached as Exhibit A to the ordinance. If anyone has any questions, feel free. But I did confirm that the agreement is the correct one attached to the resolution.
So there was some discussion that we may have to pull that one, but that's not the case.
There's no need to do that.
Okay.
What was the attachment?
We're going to leave it in.
It's,
Okay.
It's not the correct schedule, it's not,
the correct schedule is attached to the ordinance.
but is it mentioning a construction schedule?
The mic's off.
Is there any mention of construction schedule
The
on there?
construction schedule would be reflected in the redevelopment agreement, not the pilot agreement.
So what's page 34 with the
That's the
community?
initial application. You just said, right?
I don't think it's wise of us to approve a financial agreement without having a approved construction schedule. That's just my opinion. You know, the construction schedule that was presented to the agency previously had wild dates that did not hold the developer to, any critical dates. And what we're doing is we're giving them this 4-year term to build this project and not see any funds from this for what could be 5 years.
Mayor Cohen?
Well, I agree with him. I think that should be in there, and I think it's confusing to have two different payment schedules in here that I just delete the one that's wrong.
I have no problem with 2442 and then 2443.
Just for clarification, the initial pilot application is always included in the backup, so that agreement is always there. What is before the council is the final negotiated pilot agreement that is attached to the ordinance.
Okay. And therefore, discussion probably will not change that.
That's correct. This is just for introduction, and second reading would be public comment and then discussion.
But what Councilman Wendell was asking for, though, is the
The
actual
construction
construction
schedule.
schedule, like the timeline
That would-
schedule.
That would be reflected in the redevelopment agreement.
Understood, but I think we're putting the cart before the horse, approving a financial agreement without having what we feel is an approved construction schedule. Because should this take longer, there should be milestones and payments that need to be made and things of that nature that are not reflected here. You know?
That's up to the council. All, you know, just the messenger. The agency did send resolutions this month recommending that the pilot be considered for the council, as well as reaffirming the redevelopment agreement.
I understand that, but the starting of all these payments is predicated on a schedule that they don't have.
Right.
And right now, the way it stands, without anything done on the other end, is that this could not get started, possibly not get started for another 4 years. That's unacceptable.
And
So I think
that would change what I would consider to be the
we would want more
pilot
money up
agreement.
front.
Yeah.
Pull it.
So let's go with 2442, there's no discussion on that, we have that pulled. And then 2443 for further discussion insofar as that can be probably addressed by sometime in the beginning of the new year. I don't think we need a roll call on that, do we? No, that just came out of my mouth to this microphone. Councilman Wendell, you good with that?
Yes,
Good.
absolutely.
All right, I'm done with my report.
You're good?
Yep, that's it.
Township Clerk, Ms. Lawful.
Nothing to report, however, happy belated birthday, Mayor Cohen, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Thank you. And council, any board or commission reports?
One thing on the redevelopment and the proposed study, Resolution 24-346, the redevelopment study. While Exhibit A has, from what I can see, all the proper lots, the map that you have does not include all of the lots. Not that that is, because Exhibit A calls out the proper lots and blocks that the agency is requesting. There are two on your map.
You have a page number, Councilman Wendell?
Exhibit A1,
On the bottom, there's page numbers, though.
no, I don't see a page number.
Oh, no?
No.
Oh, this is from the document that the mayor gave us? So is there a map with that?
There's a map. It's Resolution 24-346 in your packet.
Okay.
Exhibit A has what I believe to be all the proper lots and blocks. But I just want to clarify for everyone that the map with all the included lots and blocks omits two lots and blocks that are frontage
for me.
on Route 18.
Okay.
They're in your upper right-hand corner. And it includes what is commonly known as Stardust Pools and Mayo Law, the law office.
His office is
Yeah,
right there.
they were included in the request from the redevelopment agency. And I believe Exhibit A includes all those lots and blocks from what I have done. But I just want to clarify for everyone that those
Got it.
two other lots
Are part
are
of-
on the list, but not on your map.
Mr. Iacocca, I believe, can we reference that the titles in the block and lot numbers is the correct, and that the map can be amended to reflect those blocks and lots to ensure what Mr. Wendell
Yes.
has stated? So we can add those
Yeah.
into the map and still pass this resolution this evening, but asking for that to be updated as part of the resolution. Is that okay legally with you?
The lot and blocks are correct, so I would say that's illegal.
Okay.
Subject to providing an updated map to the planning board.
Okay, does the council have to memorialize that outside of this resolution, or just
I would
state that?
I would state it as an amendment to the resolution that it's approved, subject to providing the planning board an amended map.
Okay, that's
Okay.
what I was looking
Yeah.
for. Thank you.
Okay.
Is that okay with you, Mr.
That's,
Wendell?
that's fine. I just I wanted to clarify it for the people up here that,
We have to pull the
that those,
Consent,
and we don't even know, you know, we don't know if they'll qualify or anything.
Exactly.
But they were contiguous with the study area.
With the bring it straight up to the house.
Yeah.
why don't we pull that, is that a separate
I
resolution
would
too?
pull it and so we can amend it.
Okay.
You're going to pull it and amend it and then still vote on it tonight?
Correct.
And still vote tonight?
Correct.
Right, because I want to get it to the planning board.
We're gonna amend it.
Like, vote on it, subject
Let's vote on it first,
vote on it.
then we'll amend it.
We'll- to-
Exactly.
Exactly.
As long as you're good with the clerking of the matter. Should we roll call now? Oh, that's where we're at, right. Any further reports from council?
No, thanks.
Okay.
Actually,
Yes.
quick report. Yep, just to remind everybody, December 7th is the Winter Wonderland here in East Brunswick at our municipal complex. A gazillion things for the entire family, starting at 11, ending at 7 p.m. with a rain date of December 8th, which is a Sunday. So please come and enjoy vendors, train rides, ice skating rink, a tavern, so many different cookies with claws. There's so many things to keep everybody active during the holiday season.
Thank you, Councilmember Zambicki. Any further board reports or commissions? I'll now open the meeting to the public. And will our township clerk please read our public comment statement?
The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. In accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the East Brunswick Rules of Council, the council asks the public to limit their comments to 5 minutes or less. At the conclusion of the statements or questions from a member of the public, the council president, at his discretion, may choose to respond or not respond.
Thank you. Would anyone like to address the council president? Please, gentleman in the back.
Good evening, council. Vic Angeline, Rachel Drive, East Brunswick, New Jersey. What brought me out tonight was Resolution 24-346 and Ordinance 24-43. I'm generally supportive of redevelopment as a citizen, but I think you all may have gone a little too crazy with it. You got to take a look at the future of the next 30 years. 30 years is a long time to give these tax exemptions and these pilot agreements. They go way out, and they're going to affect many things from today that'll be different in 30 years. And first and foremost, I'm thinking about the schools and the taxes. There isn't very much money from all these projects going to the schools and taxes. And you realize that funding is getting difficult in the state of New Jersey. And these projects are big, but they're really not going to support the schools, and it's going to fall back on the regular taxpayer when the Board of Ed has to raise taxes to pay for it, while all these developers are going to get away scot-free. They're just paying the town. I have significant experience in redevelopment in many cities. They don't do 30 years. They do 10 years now. And they're much more cautious about how they affect the entire framework of government. And I first of all request that perhaps if the council president would agree, I'd like to see a report provided of all the tax abatements given, tax exemptions with the pilot programs, and what over 30 years the Board of Ed, if you take today's percentages, would not get. I propose that the legacy project alone will short the Board of Ed $30 million or more over the next 30 years that it would have gotten if it would have been taxed somewhat. It's not being taxed at all. So then when I look at what you all did today, and you're looking at 24-346, I think it's a great idea to look at the Brunswick Square area and what can be redeveloped. But I think you have to look at it from a tax perspective, because you all seem to give pilot pretty quickly. And that's going to, again, affect further. So yeah, you might be making everything improve in the town in terms of ratables, but the Board of Ed's a significant part of our tax base, and you're affecting it. And I think you're affecting it way more than you think, and none of you will be here to see where it is in 25 or 30 years. going forward. Relative to the 220 unit, I agree with Mr. Wendell's points about how quick you're going to build it, but think about this. All the apartments you're giving out, right, that you gave for, the rents they're getting now are way more than they ever envisioned. I know, I'm a developer. The rents are super high. Housing is so low in America, rents are high. The other point you're missing is that people are not going to buy houses in East Brunswick. They're too expensive. They're going to be in two-bedroom apartments with kids. And I think all the ratios and all the reports, which I don't think much of the reports you got, because you paid a guy to make them, and you're paying him, so he's going to make the report good for you. You never have another report of another side that's more straight down the middle. And you're going to have more and more families in two-bedroom apartments in East Brunswick, because they're not going to be able to afford $7. There's little houses going for $600,000, $700,000, $800,000. So you're going to have a lot more kids in these apartments going forward, and the Board of Ed's getting nothing. So just think about it. Every child probably takes $20,000 a year to pay for, and then going forward, you're giving 30 years of tax abatement. So I'm all for it, but I think I'd almost say you have to start saying, what am I going to give the Board of Ed on these pilot programs? Brightview's going to do 200 units. What's the Board of Ed getting out of that? I don't see anything in the agreement. Maybe I'm missing it. So I think it'd be interesting to take a look at how much you've given away already, and as you go through each time, I think you should say, this is how much tax is not going to be paid by this developer in the next 30 years. And just do it in current value, and use current escalation rates. So that's what I request, and I think it's something to look at, because the average citizen is going to be paying for the next 30 years way more taxes because of all these pilot programs. Pilot's good, but it's not the cure-all for everybody else that pays a full tax. So thank you very much.
Anyone else wishing to address Council President? Gentleman in the green.
Kevin Sexton, Coleman Road. Two things I was hoping to mention tonight that I think are tied together a little bit, Council President, and it's, I guess, the way the Township Council agenda is publicized. You know, I know at the beginning of the meeting we read the statement, and it has to be in the local paper and on the bulletin board, but fewer and fewer people have the local paper in town. We got rid of it. I think we were one of the last ones to get rid of the Home News Tribune. And I'm just wondering if there's something, you know, you have folks like me and others who go onto the website and check the agenda for the night, but I think a lot of people don't do that. Is there anything that we can do to just make sure the agenda is getting out to as many people as possible? I don't know if the Facebook page is appropriate for that, or anything that can be done just to make sure that enough people, or as many people as possible, can see the Township agenda and then come to these meetings. So I think they're really valuable. So that'd be my first question. Is there anything that can be done just to get the agenda out to people? And then, tied to that, what brought me here was 346, the redevelopment of the Brunswick Square Mall. I've been here before to talk about redevelopment. I'm generally not supportive of the idea. I'm happy to hear one of my residents or co-residents is supportive of it. I don't know anybody who's from here who is supportive of what's going on Route 18. I know that's not the case, but nobody I know in my life is supportive of what's happening on Route 18. It's insanity. The traffic is insanity. I have to drive. My commute is long. It's about an hour long. The longest portion of my commute is from my house to the Turnpike entrance. So from the East Brunswick High School to the Turnpike entrance is the longest portion of my commute, and it's 7 miles. On that, in 1990, I live by the Brunswick Square Mall. In the 1990s, there was talk about developing the Brunswick Square Mall, adding a second level. And the township had a very well publicized public meetings regarding the Brunswick Square Mall and redevelopment. The public was overwhelmingly against it. And I'm just wondering, this is huge. To me, as somebody who lives in the neighborhood, what are we going to do to make sure that something that's buried in the consent agenda here is well publicized, because it's going to impact a lot of us that live in that part of town? Just those two things. Thank you, Council President.
Council President, if I may comment.
Councilman Wendell?
Just so you know, what's on the consent agenda tonight is only authorizing a study of the area to deem whether it meets the criteria. It is not at all moving forward. It still has to go to the planning board. Planning board has to approve the study, and then we hire a planner that does the study, and it comes back to the planning board and to this governing body to approve whether it meets the criteria or what properties over there meet the criteria. There's no talk of what's going to go there or what would be proposed to be there at this point.
Thank you, Councilman Wendell. Anyone else wishing to address council? Mayor Cohen?
Clear up on the Brightview property is a property that right now is farm assessed, so it's paying no taxes to the township. So anything that it pays, even if it's just land tax, which still under a pilot is paid at the regular breakdown that any other taxes are done, goes to the schools. So any money coming out of that piece of property is going to be more money than the schools get right now, which is zero. We all get zero. It's farm assessed.
Anyone else wishing to address the council president? Please.
Good evening. My name is Nawal Tufel, Tall Oaks Drive.
Could you say that again?
Nawal Tufel.
Okay, thank you.
So I've addressed this council even like earlier, and I
Yes.
think I have the same issues because those issues are not resolved yet. It's just I have one more thing to add to it. The previous two issues that we discussed were basically, first was why this council is so hesitant to call for the ceasefire when all other our neighboring towns, most of them have already done that. So what's the hesitation? Like, why are we so hesitant to call for a ceasefire for a brutal genocide that's happening? And it is genocide by all definitions. We know that. Now the ICC has issued warrant for the state leader of that country that's committing a genocide. So why are we not doing it? Like, is there any motive for not doing it? Or I'm really trying to wrap my head around that. Why wouldn't we call for a ceasefire for a genocide? The other thing is that the sister city agreement that we have, that Mr. Brad Cohen is the one who initiated or maybe finalized, I don't know. Honestly, this is like, every time I go to that hall, it's a walk of shame for me. That Israel is on trial for genocide. Israel is committing genocide by all means. Every organization in the world, United Nations, I know that what you guys are saying, Israel was created by a resolution of United Nations, and now somehow United Nations resolutions don't mean anything. They are calling it a genocide. Save for Children, Red Cross, Doctors Without Borders, you pick any organization in the world, it's calling it a genocide. And we have sister city agreement with the city of that country. So I think based on the ethical value, Mr. Kevin, your daughter is representative of TNR. Like, you raised a daughter who is concerned about cats. And here we are talking about children, like children slaughtered day in and day out. Can you imagine? And then somehow we are okay to keep the sister city agreement with the city. And I don't know what kind of agreements are going on with that city in the name of that sister city agreement. So I think it's about time that we should break the ties, and we should not have any kind of relationship with the city of Israel. The third thing is that I was not in the meeting when we gave proclamation to a Zionist organization. I mean, for us, it caused a lot of pain to my community that we have been coming to this city council for almost a year calling for a ceasefire, and what we are hearing is just crickets. While Mr. Brad Cohen is giving proclamation second time in last 5 years, I don't know how many more time he has given it, to a Zionist organization. As per the mission statement of this organization, it's a volunteer organization that inspires a passion for and commitment to the land, the people, and the future of Israel. That's the mission statement of this organization. So again, like, you are giving proclamation to our organization that is part of a country committing genocide. And it's not even like genocide of the past. It's current, where we are seeing it on a daily basis, Holocaust of Palestinians. That's what it is. So I think it's about time, Mr. Kevin, Mr. Brad, that we just break the ties with the city and we call it that it is a genocide, and then we call for the ceasefire. That's all. And I really hope that I can get some answers this time, because your silence is basically is making you complicit in this whole situation as well. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to address Council President? Seeing none, I'll close the public portion. move on to our consent agenda. And let's see, I think some of the notes that I have don't jive with what we're going to be doing now. So we're going to pull separately? Let's do that first then. 24, 346.
Yep.
Can I have a motion
So moved.
and a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
So amendments. This is the resolution.
This is the resolution first, and then
Right,
we'll come
so-
back for the amending.
So this resolution is going to be amended. It's going to be subject to providing an updated map to the planning board to reflect all lots and blocks that are listed in this resolution.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Iacocca. Roll call, please.
Councilman Bahal?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zimbicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy?
Yes. And now we will amend, Mr. Iacocca?
No, We've amended.
That would-
Now you can do the consent agenda.
Okay. Before I, does council have anything? So now it's 24-344, up to 24 and including 346, and then continuing to 351,
Correct.
correct?
No.
No, are we doing 342 and
And
343?
to approve 342 through 351. We're good? Motion to approve, please,
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Bahal?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zimbicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy?
Yes. Now I'll move on to a few ordinances, and it's quite a few ordinances. Township Clerk, can you please read 24-35?
An ordinance of the Township of East Brunswick, amending ordinance number 23-30, fixing the grades, classifications, and grades and compensation of employees of the Township of East Brunswick, covering the United Services Workers Union, Local 255, IUJAT, formerly MEA.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Bahal?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zimbicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy?
Yes, and before I continue, we have a couple of firemen. Are they going to be speaking on any particular issue?
Later on, if there's questions on their ordinance for the fire safety change.
44.
2444.
44, okay, just so I know as
They're
we're,
here in case there's any questions.
got it, as we
And
proceed.
for the public hearing, they'll be here too, in case there's members of the public have any questions. Gentlemen, thank you.
Township Clerk, can you please read 24-36?
An ordinance of the Township of East Brunswick, amending ordinance number 23-31, fixing the grades, classification and grades, and compensation of employees of the Township of East Brunswick, covering the Professional Managers Association, PMA, executive staff, and confidential employees.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Bahal?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zimbicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy?
Yes, Township Clerk, please read 24-37.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 23-32, fixing compensation for temporary, part-time, and seasonal employees for the year 2025.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Bahal?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zimbicki?
Abstain?
And Council President McAvoy?
Yes. Township Clerk, please read 24-38.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 23-33, establishing the salary compensation for the East Brunswick School Crossing Guards Association.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Bahal?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zimbicki? Councilwoman Zimbicki?
Yes.
And
Sorry.
Council President McAvoy?
Yes. Township Clerk, please read 24-39.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 23-34, fixing the salary classifications for members of the Superior Officers Association of the Township of East Brunswick.
Motion, please.
Motion?
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes, again, this is all legal stuff that could not condense all this into one motion. It has to be read each separately, and there were approximately, there were 10 motions. We're a good three-quarters of the way through. Roll call, or did we,
Yes.
we're good? 2440?
An ordinance amending ordinance number 23-35, fixing the salary classifications for members of the Policemen's Benevolent Association, Local 145 of the Township of East Brunswick.
Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman
Yes.
Wendell? Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes. It's just,
Thank you.
you get
I knew
caught
where
up
you were
in it.
going.
Thank you.
Township Clerk, please read 24-41.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 23-36, establishing compensation and salaries for East Brunswick Special Police Association in accordance with contractual provisions.
And a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes. 42 has been pulled.
43 is pulled.
Right, 43 we did already. So we're on,
44.
Township Clerk, will you please read,
2444?
getting caught up in my own words, ordinance 24-44.
Will do. An ordinance of the Township of East Brunswick, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 102, Fire Safety, Section 14, permits to update various registration fees.
I'll open this ordinance to the public. Is there anyone from the public?
This is first reading, sir.
It's the first reading. I beg your pardon.
Just-
I thought you wanted them to speak this evening.
In case you had questions.
Are there any questions from council on this particular ordinance?
No.
Thank you. Motion, please?
So
So
moved.
And a second? We got the second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes. Township Clerk, please read 24-45.
And this is our last one.
Right.
An ordinance of the Township of East Brunswick, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 3, Administration of Government. Excuse me. And I will start over if you don't mind. An ordinance of the Township of East Brunswick, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapters 3-83, Chapter 102, and 209 with regards to parking fees.
Motion?
Fines.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hall?
Yes.
Councilman Wendell?
Yes.
Councilwoman Winston?
Yes.
Councilwoman Zambicki?
Yes.
And Council President McAvoy.
Yes.
Council President, if I may,
Please.
just statement of clarification. Ordinance 2443 was not moved on separately.
No, we
We
pulled it.
pulled that. But, no, I mean, the Council President said that we had taken
Yeah.
action separately. And I just wanted to clarify that we did not take any action on the Brightview. Yeah.
For the good of the cause.
I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Please.
Thanksgiving.
That's it.
That's it?
I just did.
I just wanted to say that several of us attended yesterday's inaugural performance of East Brunswick Symphonia Orchestra. It was fantastic. This is the first of many to come. This is New York City level talent in our own community. They played beautifully and wonderfully. The conductor is Nate White. Cheryl Brass is our resident who put this all together, and she played as well. And please look out for future performances, and please attend and support them. They're a fantastic and wonderful addition to our community, and I think you'll enjoy them very much.
Thank you. Councilwoman Winston. Anything else? Motion to adjourn by signifying with an aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Good night.